Hello friends, welcome once again on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. I am your favorite Gaurav Gupta, probably not your favorite, but here I am Gaurav Gupta once again to help all the CAT aspirants, all the students who are preparing for MBA entrance examinations, be it CAT or be it other management entrance tests. I am there for all of you to basically help you with the basics of all these things one by one. So, friends, in my previous lecture, I have taken one of the concepts of number systems that was related to fractions and decimals, where I explained all of you how to basically deal with different types of decimals, what is the basic difference between terminating, non-terminating, recurring and non-recurring decimal numbers, and how to convert these recurring numbers into their p by q, that is the fractional form. So I hope that session was useful for some of you. So here today I am once again in front of you with the next chapter, Surds and Indices, from which you can expect 2 or 3 questions in your examinations. But Surds and Indices, this Surds and Indices is an important topic, not only from the point of view of getting direct questions, but the usage of the concepts of surds and indices is helpful at a lot of places. It helps you in understanding the different types of powers of different numbers. All right. So these questions, this particular thing will not only help you with the direct questions that we find in surds and indices, but once again, it will help you in the application of these concepts in some other type of questions. All right. Now, the agenda of this session will be very simple. So, first of all, we'll be discussing about the properties of surds and indices slightly in detail. Okay, it will not be a brief session. We'll be together for the next 40-45 minutes. And once we'll discuss each and every property related to surds and indices, then we'll look at the different types of questions based on surds and indices. And primarily, these questions will focus on the comparison between two different type of numbers, be it surds or be it indices. Now, both these surds and indices have something to do with the powers of the numbers. The power of any number, it can be an integral power. Integral power, it can be a positive, it can be a negative power, or it can be a fractional power as well. All right. So surds and indices deals with the different types of powers of any number, right? Now, let us quickly begin with, first of all, the basic properties of surds and indices. Now, surds and indices, basically, they have certain common properties that we are going to talk about now one by one. All right. Okay. So, all the students who are present in the session, good afternoon to all of you. Come on, show me your presence in this session. Don't be so silent. In case you don't understand anything, you are free to ask me to repeat that thing. This is the beauty of attending live sessions. Definitely, there'll be some students, there'll be plenty of students who will be watching the recording of this session on the YouTube. But since all of you are there in this session in the live format, so you have a liberty, you have a flexibility of asking me to stop and repeat any of the concepts again. All right. So please don't hesitate in that. Now let's start with the properties of surds and indices. Now the first and the very basic property of surds and indices is a raised to the power m multiplied by a raised to the power n. So whenever bases are getting multiplied and they are same, so there is a product sign, there is a multiplication sign, and the bases are same. So in this case, the result will be the powers will be added. So in the result, the powers will be added and the base is kept same. So if I take an example of this, let's say I have two numbers, 2 raised to the power 5 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 7. The result will be 2 raised to the power. Carefully, the powers will not be multiplied. Powers को multiply नहीं करना. Powers will get added. Okay. So it will become 2 raised to the power 5 plus 7. Now 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. So 2 raised to the power 12 will be the answer. So Vivek and Arjun, good afternoon to both of you. Okay. All right. So this is the basic property of surds and indices, right? Now, similarly, if there is a division sign, now in the first property, you saw that there was a multiplication sign on the left hand side. Instead, if a raised to the power m is divided by a raised to the power n, then I can say that the result will have the difference between the powers. Okay, so the power in the numerator minus the power in the denominator. So similarly, if I have 2 raised to the power 15 divided by 2 raised to the power 12. So I can write it as 2 raised to the power 15 minus 12, and the final answer, the final result will be 2 raised to the power 3. Okay, right? So these are some of the basic properties, right? Now let's move on to property number 3. Now property number 3 is, now this is very important property, and this is where a lot of us commits mistake. Okay, so don't commit a mistake and try to understand this property in detail. Okay, now a raised to the power m whole raised to the power n. This is how we read it. I'll repeat, a raised to the power m whole raised to the power n. Now, first of all, this is different from a raised to the power m raised to the power n. Now, these two are completely different numbers. So don't be confused. I'll repeat, how do we read it? The left one, the first one, this one, a raised to the power m whole raised to the power n. And the second one, a raised to the power m raised to the power n. So in the first case, this n is the power of this complete number, a raised to the power m. All right. In the second case, n is the power of m only. All right. Fine. So you have to be very careful while dealing with these. So a raised to the power m whole raised to the power n, and the second one is a raised to the power m raised to the power n. Now I'll take example of each one of these two and will tell you how to basically get the final result. You will understand the final difference between them. Okay. Now for the first case, I'll take 2 raised to the power 3 whole raised to the power 4, and I'll take the same numbers, but it will be a different thing. So 2 raised to the power 3 raised to the power 4. Okay. Now, if I talk about the right hand side, the second one. So, since 4 is the power of 3, since 4 is the power of 3, first of all, we'll solve this part. Okay. So, 3 raised to the power 4 kitna hota hai? 3 raised to the power 4 is 81. All right. So, I'll write it as 2 raised to the power 81. And this will be the final result. I'll leave it like this. I cannot calculate 2 raised to the power 81. It will be a huge number. बहुत बड़ा number होगा. 2 raised to the power 81. It will be more than a 24 digit number. 24 digit number से भी बड़ा number होगा. Okay. So this is how we solve the second part, the second one. Now let's look at the first one. Now there are two different ways of solving this. One way is, first of all, solve the bracket. So 2 raised to the power 3 को पहले solve कर लेंगे. 2 raised to the power 3 कितना होता है? 8. All right. So 8 raised to the power 4. I can write it as 8 raised to the power 4. Right. Another way of solving this is, you can multiply these powers. So bracket open करेंगे तो ये powers multiply हो जाती हैं. So it can be written as 2 raised to the power 3 multiply 4. That is equal to 2 raised to the power 12. Now, if you will calculate the value of 8 raised to the power 4 or 2 raised to the power 12, both the values will be absolutely same. Exactly same hongi values. Okay. So I believe 4096, 4096, yes. So 4096 will be each of these values. So the final result will be same. Okay. This is written is like in a different format. So one is 8 raised to the power something and another is 2 raised to the power 12. But definitely our value same aani chahiye because I started with the same number. So this is how we treat both these numbers. So there is a difference between these two. Be careful, make a note of it. This is one mistake that we commit at the time of solving the questions. Okay. Right. Now let's move on and look at the next property, the fourth property. Now the fourth property is nth root of any number. Let's say square root of any number. So if I'll write square root of 5. So I can write it as 5 raised to the power 1 upon 2. Okay, so fractional power ban jati hai. Cube root of 5 will be written as 5 raised to the power 1 by 3. So nth root of any number a can be written as a raised to the power 1 upon n. All right, nth root of any number is a raised to the power 1 upon n. राइट ओके आगे चलते हैं नेक्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी फटाफट थोड़ा सा फॉर्मेटिंग एरर है इसके अंदर सो डोंट लुक एट दिस सो nth root of a raised to the power p is this number. Okay, nth root of a raised to the power p. Now this will be written as a raised to the power p as it is, and from the previous property nth root will become a fractional power, that is 1 upon n. Right? So a raised to the power p whole raised to the power 1 upon n. Carefully, 1 upon n is not the power of p, it's the power of a raised to the power p. Right? Further, using property 3, I can multiply these two. So it will become a raised to the power. Now p multiplied by 1 upon n will become p upon n. So this will be the final result in property number 5. A raised to the power p upon n. Now at the initial stages, you can basically, if you get such things in the questions, so you can take more than one step to simplify these results. With due practice, you will not take 2 or 3 steps. You can manage most of these things in a single step. Like I have used 2 different steps, so you can do the same thing. And later on, जब practice हो जाए, तब steps eliminate करना, but not at the initial stages. Otherwise, you're going to commit some mistakes. Moving ahead, property number 6. Now, property number 6 is negative power of any number. So, negative power जब भी होती है तो number का reciprocal हो जाता है. Like 2 raised to the power minus 3. Now, 2 raised to the power minus 3 can be written as 1 upon 2 raised to the power 3. So, negative sign in the power will be eliminated, and to eliminate that, you will have to do the reciprocal of the number. Right? So, it will be 1 upon 2 raised to the power 2 raised to the power 3. 1 upon 2 raised to the power 3 can further be written as 1 upon 8. वो तो हम solve ही कर सकते हैं, right? So this is the 6th property. Property number 7, any number raised to the power 0 does it always equal to 1? No, not always. A raised to the power 0 will be equal to 1 provided a is not equal to 0. 0 नहीं होना चाहिए a, right? Because 0 raised to the power 0, this form is not defined. 0 raised to the power 0 is not defined. So a raised to the power 0 will be equal to 1 if a is not equal to 0. So any number other than 0 raised to the power 0 will always be equal to 1. Okay, so be it a positive number, be it a negative number, 5 raised to the power 0 will be equal to 1. Minus 5 whole raised to the power 0 will also be equal to 1, like this. Okay. Sir, surds and indices also help in algebra. Definitely, Vivek, definitely. Algebra, which is one of the most difficult branches of mathematics, of quantitative, surds and indices is a part of algebra. हम generally surds and indices algebra में ही पढ़ते हैं. And algebra, in most of the questions of algebra, you'll have to deal with the higher powers of the numbers. So definitely simplification may help करेगा. Let's say if you have to simplify the expression like a square plus b square multiply by a cube plus b cube. Okay, so definitely the basic properties of surds and indices will help you in simplification of such things and dealing with certain higher powers of the numbers. All right, Vivek? ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं property number 8. a into b whole raised to the power m. Separate हो जाएंगे, a raised to the power m multiplied by b raised to the power m. Right? Now, one common mistake that we commit here is, if I write a plus b whole raised to the power m, a plus b whole raised to the power m, then this separation property does not help. It is not equal to a raised to the power m plus b raised to the power m. No, it is not. Okay, so careful. I have a multiplication sign, not an addition sign. Right? Be careful about this. Any natural number power 0 is 1. Yes, Arjun, any natural number, or no need to write natural number. Any number raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. It's just that this number a should not be equal to 0. 0 के अलावा कोई भी नंबर ले लो, raised to the power 0 will always be equal to 1. So not only natural number but other numbers as well, right? Okay. Now let's move on and look at the next property, property number 9. So same thing that has happened in property number 8 with multiplications will happen in property number 9 with the divisions. Okay, so a upon b whole raised to the power m. So now the powers will be separated. So a raised to the power m whole divided by b raised to the power m. Careful, it is applicable only when there is a multiplication and division, not in case of additions and subtractions, right? Okay, so these are the properties, basic properties. Now let's look at two more very important properties for surds and indices. That helps you in the question, that actually helps you in the questions. Now, the first property, if you are given a raised to the power m is equal to a raised to the power n. So a raised to the power m, a raised to the power n, both are equal. So as you can notice, the bases are same. Okay, base is same on both sides, but the powers are different. So in this case, you will have to tell me the relation between m and n. What will be the relation between m and n? Come on, I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds for this to quickly write the relation between m and n based on the equation a raised to the power m is equal to a raised to the power n. You are given only this much information. On the basis of this, you will have to tell me the relation between m and n. So Tanmay says that both are equal. Okay, so Tanmay, I'll write your answer. So Tanmay is saying that m is equal to n. All right. Any other student would like to write the answer. Come on, do that. Okay, so Tanmay, I'll ask you, m and n will be equal. Does it happen always? Is it always true? Is it always true? Okay, so this will not be true in every case. Okay, so let's have a look at it. So there are different cases that I'll make right now. All right. Okay, so Vivek and Vijay. All right, let's see. So different cases, let's have a look at it. Now, if A is equal to, I'll put some values. So basically it depends on the value of A as well. ये A की वैल्यू पे भी डिपेंड करेगा. So if A is equal to 0, अगर A 0 है, right? So M and N, they may or may not be equal. M may be equal to N, M may not be equal to N. Both the cases may arise. So if I write 0 raised to the power 5 and 0 raised to the power 6, let's say, are they equal? Yes, they both are equal. So if A is 0, M and N not necessarily needs to be equal. They may be different numbers. Okay? It's just that you need to take care that M and N की value 0 नहीं होनी चाहिए. Power 0 नहीं होनी चाहिए. If A is 0, then the power cannot be 0. Okay? Other than that, M and N can take any random values and both left hand side and right hand side will be equal. Okay? So this is the first exception. Second exception, if A is equal to 1. So if A is equal to plus 1, then again M and N can take any values. Because I can write once again, A is 1, so 1 raised to the power 5 is equal to 1 raised to the power any random number. Let's say 18. So 1 raised to power 5 and 1 raised to power 18, they are absolutely equal, right? So if A is equal to 1, again M may be equal to N, M may not be equal to N. All right, so any of these things can possibly happen. Now the third exception, if A is equal to -1, agar A -1 hai, right? So in this case, either both M and N will be even, या तो दोनों even होने चाहिए या फिर दोनों odd होने चाहिए. Either both of them should be even or both of them should be odd, right? So minus 1 raised to the power 5, I can say that this is equal to minus 1 raised to the power any odd number, let's say 11. So minus 1 raised to the power 5 is equal to minus 1 raised to the power 11. Yes. Also, I can write minus 1 raised to the power 20 is equal to minus 1 raised to the power any other even number, let's say 28. Right? Okay. Avantika, yes, it will be helpful. ये तो बहुत basic topic है. This topic will be helpful for any management entrance examinations where you will find quantitative ability. Okay. All right. So there are three exceptions. A equal to 0, A equal to 1, and A equal to minus 1. So depending upon the value of A, the relation between M and N can be established. Now for any other value of A, M and N will always be equal in this type of equation. All right, fine. Now let's move ahead and look at a next similar thing. Okay. Now in the question, in this case that you have seen, the bases were equal. Base equal थे and we had to establish the relation between the powers. Okay, हमने powers में relation establish किया था. Now the next case will be powers will be equal. So let's have a look at it. So now the powers are equal. You can see on both sides powers are equal. Now you will have to establish the relation between the bases. Okay, so power equal hai, and what will be the relation between the base? That means A and B में क्या relation होगा? So again, generally we think that both A and B will be equal, but जरूरी नहीं है A और B equal होंगे. Again, there are some exceptions to this. Okay, so let me write some of the exceptions. Now these exceptions will be based on the value of M. M की value पे depend करेंगे. So if M is equal to 0, the most important exception, if M is equal to 0, अगर M 0 है, ठीक है, so A and B, they may be equal, they may not be equal. Okay, so M अगर 0 है तो I can say 5 raised to the power 0 is equal to 6 raised to the power 0 is equal to any number raised to the power 0. 20 raised to the power 0, 25 raised to the power 0, all of them will be equal to 1. All of them will be equal. Okay, so अगर power 0 है, if the power is 0, Arjun, we are asking this topic comes under arithmetic or algebra. Arjun, first of all, is there any difference between them? Nahi, difference nahi hai, but still I'll tell you that in some books you will find this chapter under algebra, and in other books they may keep it under number systems. Arithmetic में कभी नहीं होगा ये, ठीक है? This is not in arithmetic. In some books it will be in algebra, in some books it will be under number systems. So it depends on author to author, it depends on person to person, but arithmetic में बिल्कुल भी नहीं है ये. Okay? Okay. So first is M equal to 0, relation समझ में आ गया, right? Also, another relation is if the value of M is any even number, कोई भी even number है. Let's say M is equal to 8. एक even number है. Okay, so in this case both A and B may be equal, or A may be equal to negative B. So A is equal to either plus B or minus B. For example, minus 11 raised to the power 8 and 11 raised to the power 8, they both will be equal, right? दोनों equal होंगे. So positive or negative number raised to the even number, raised to the power which is even, will give you a positive result in both cases, right? So if the value of M is even, then A may be equal to B, A may be equal to negative of B as well, right? So these are the two exceptions. For any other value of M, both the bases A and B will always be equal, right? चलो आगे चलते हैं. So these are the properties that you need to remember, that you need to understand. Remember से ज्यादा ना रटने की जरूरत नहीं है यार. remember करने से ज्यादा, रटने से ज्यादा important है इनको understand करना. So it is always better to understand mathematics instead of cramming these results. Right? Hello, Shraddha. Okay, आगे चलते हैं. Now let's look at some of the questions. First of all, related to comparisons of surds and indices. So these are the three numbers. I'll call it A, B, and C. So arrange these numbers in descending order. Descending means सबसे पहले सबसे बड़ा, then उससे छोटा, and then the smallest. Largest, the second largest, and the smallest. Give me A, B, and C. I have denoted the numbers as. So tell me which will be the largest, which will be the second largest, which will be the smallest number. So arrange them in descending order. Come on, all of you. I'll give you a few seconds. Let's see who will be the first person to give me an answer for this. Any answer? Okay. So Tanmay, once again, the first one to give an answer. Good, Tanmay. Okay. Now, how to deal with such questions? Let's have a look at it. I can write the first one as 2 raised to the power 1 by 2. The second as 3 raised to the power 1 by 3. And 6 raised to the power 1 by 6. Okay. I can see that in all the cases, the powers are fraction 1 by 2, 1 by 3, and 1 by 6. So what I'll do is I'll try to make all the powers equal. Okay, I'll try to make all the powers equal. So first can be written as 2 raised to the power. Now 1 by 2, 1 by 2, the power is 1 by 2. It can also be written as 3 upon 6. Okay, so 2 raised to the power 3 upon 6. This is one way of doing this question, I'm telling you. Similarly, in the second case, I can write it as 3 raised to the power 2 upon 6 because 1 by 3 and 2 upon 6 are absolutely equal. Then the last will remain as it is, 6 raised to the power 1 by 6. Okay. Now, this can be written as 2 raised to the power 3 whole raised to the power 1 upon 6. Right? 2 raised to the power 3 whole raised to the power 1 upon 6. Next, 3 raised to the power 2 whole raised to the power 1 by 6. And finally, 6 raised to the power 1 by 6. So now you can see that all the powers have become equal. 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6. So first number is 8. 2 raised to power 3, 8 hota hai. 8 raised to the power 1 by 6. Then 9 raised to the power 1 by 6. And finally, 6 raised to the power 1 by 6. So since all the powers are equal, you can compare the bases. The number having largest base will be the largest among these numbers. All right. So I can say that this number is largest. So B is the largest. Then it will be A and then it will be C. So the correct answer should be B, A and then C. All right. I hope I am clear with the explanation. Let's take one more question. 2 raised to the power 30 and 3 raised to the power 20. So what to do with this? Yes, anyone? 2 raised to the power 30 and 2 raised to the power 30 and 3 raised to the power 20. So I'll call it A and this one as B. So among A and B, which one is largest? So इन दोनों में से बड़ा कौन है ये find out करना है. So once again, what I'll do is I'll try to make the powers equal. Now 30 and 20, the powers, 30 and 20. What can be the largest number that can be taken common from these two? 30 और 20 में से 10 common ले सकते हैं. Okay, so I'll write the first number as 2 raised to the power 3 multiplied 10. I've separated 10. Second number I can write it as 3 raised to the power 2 multiplied 10. All right. Now keep 10 as it is and calculate the remaining part. So the first one can be written as 2 raised to the power 3, which is 8. 8 raised to the power 10, and the second one can be written as 9 raised to the power 10. So obviously 8 raised to the power 10 is smaller as compared to 9 raised to the power 10. So the larger of these two is 9 raised to the power 10. Tanmoy, this time you are absolutely correct. So B will be the answer for this one. Okay, so the larger of these two is 3 raised to the power 20, right? Let's move further and do some more comparison. All right, now square root of 30 and cube root of 40. Square root of 30 and cube root of 40. So once again, let's denote them A and B. Now out of these two, tell me which one is larger. Now at the beginning of this session, I mentioned that those students who are attending this lecture in the live format, they must at least respond to make most out of this session. Now, if you are watching this session, if you are utilizing your time, then you will have more learning if you will solve these questions, at least try to solve these questions and write your answers in the chat box. Okay, तभी कुछ use होगा. Otherwise, if you are just sitting in front of your screen and attending this session like you are watching a news, no friends, this is not a news. Okay, this is mathematics. So solve karo yaar, solve karo. Okay, and give me the answers as well. चलो start करते हैं. Now 30 raised to the power half and 40 raised to the power 1 by 3. I'll do the same thing, one that I have done previously. Okay. Now 30 raised to the power half can be written as 30 raised to the power 3 by 6. Okay. 30 raised to the power 3 by 6 or 30 raised to the power 3 whole raised to the power 1 by 6 or 27,000 raised to the power 1 by 6. Okay. Second one, 40 raised to the power 2 upon 3. Sorry, 2 upon 6. 40 raised to the power 2 upon 6 लिख दिया. Then 40 square whole raised to the power 1 upon 6. And then 1600 raised to the power 1 upon 6. So the first number 27,000 raised to the power 1 upon 6 is way larger as compared to the second number. So A is greater than B, right? Now, this one could have been calculated easily. इनमें calculation भी कर सकते थे. You could have calculated the approximate values of these numbers. Now, square root of 30. Square root of 30. 30 is a number which lies between two perfect squares, 25 and 36. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. All right. 25 and 36. I'm taking these two perfect squares for reference. Okay. So square root of 25 and square root of 36 are 5 and 6 respectively. Now square root of 30 is lying between them. So the approximate value of this number will be 5 point something. All right. The first one, 5 point something. Let's look at the second number. Cube root of 40. So perfect cubes consider करते हैं. 27 is a perfect cube and after that 64 is a perfect cube. So cube root of 27 is equal to 3 and cube root of 64 is equal to 4. So cube root of 40 is lying between 3 and 4. So cube root of 40 will be equal to 3 point something, easily comparable. So obviously 5 point something will be greater than 3 point something, right? So there are plenty of cases you will encounter in which values can also be easily calculated. I'm not calculating the exact value, but I'm calculating the approximate values. Okay. Arjun, you're asking how will you change the power with base 6? I don't understand with base 6. Arjun, can you please write the number that you are asking? Base 6 का मतलब मैं नहीं समझा. So power आराम से change हो जाएगी अगर base 6 है तो 6 raised to the power anything 6 raised to the power let's say 1 upon 3. I can write it as 6 raised to the power 2 upon 6. That is 6 square raised to the power 1 upon 6. Okay, this is how I can change any power with base as 6. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Comparison between these two. Quickly, this is A and this is B. So tell me which one of these two is larger, zero point 0.8 square or zero point 0.8 cube. Come on, I want at least like answer for this one from each and every one of you. Okay, so I'll go back. Arjun is asking something. So, okay, so Arjun, you're asking how did I commit this step? So 1 by 2 and 3 by 6. Can I say, Arjun, they are same. 1 by 2 or 3 by 6 का value तो same ही होता है ना? 1 by 2 can also be written as 3 by 6. So this is why I have written 3 by 6 instead of 1 by 2. ठीक है? Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Among these two, we have to find out which one is larger. Now first reflexes are कि जिसकी पावर बड़ी है वो नंबर बड़ा होना चाहिए नहीं. So understand one thing, especially for the numbers which are lying between 0 and 1. The numbers which are lying between 0 and 1, higher the power, lesser will be the number. I'll repeat, larger the power, power जितनी बड़ी होती रहेगी, number उतना छोटा होता रहेगा. If the base is between 0 and 1. अगर मैं solve भी करूंगा, 0.8 square will be written as 0.64. Okay. 0.8 cube will be written as 0.512. These are the values. Okay. So 0.64 is definitely greater than 0.512. So 0.8 square will be greater than 0.8 cube. I'll repeat, for all the bases which are lying between 0 and 1, right? If I look at the higher powers, then the value will keep on decreasing. Higher the power, lower will be the value. All right. Okay. Let's move on and look at the next question. Now, question is 216 raised to the power minus 2 by 3. 216 raised to the power minus 2 by 3. What will be the simplified value of this number? You are given four options: A, B, C, and D. Quickly simplify this and give me a value. Give me an answer among option A, B, C, or D. You need to give your answer in terms of options. Okay. All right. Now, first of all, like to basically quickly finish these type of questions, or in this chapter, I'm not only talking about this type of questions, this type of numbers. I'm talking in general with the point of view of our examination. Now, to do good in this entire examination, a few basic things that you need to remember are the squares and the cubes of certain numbers. ठीक है? तो अगर अभी याद नहीं है, सोचा नहीं है इस डायरेक्शन में, so make sure that you remember squares of first 25 natural numbers and cubes of at least first 15 natural numbers. ठीक है? So 216. 216 is the square or the cube of which number? 216 is 6 into 6 into 6. That is 6 cube. Okay. So 216 raised to the power minus 2 by 3. First of all can be written as, so 216 को मैं लिख देता हूं 6 cube whole raised to the power minus 2 upon 3. ठीक है? अब powers multiply हो जाएंगी. If you remember one of the properties that we have done at the beginning of this session, so powers will get multiplied. So 3 multiplied by minus 2 by 3. So 3 and 3 will get cancelled. So it can be written as 6 raised to the power minus 2, which can be written as 1 upon 6 raised to the power 2, which can further be written as 1 upon 36. So 1 upon 36, that is option C is the correct answer. Okay, so Arjun has given a correct answer. Good, Arjun. Others could also have given this answer. If you think that this is easy, still try to give me an answer for every question. Okay? Next question. Question number, I don't know which question number, but let's look at the next question. Read the entire question carefully. So on the left hand side, you have 16 raised to the power 2x minus 1. On the right hand side, you have 2 multiplied by 8 raised to the power x plus 5. Okay? So solve this question carefully and find out the value of whatever expression that is given. You have 4 options: A, B, C, and D. 3, 4, 5, none of these. Quickly simplify this. So giving you a few more seconds. Though not a very difficult question. आसान सा question है. Arjun, Vivek, Tanmay, Shraddha, there are lots of students in the session. Try to find an answer and write your answer as option A, B, C, or D. Now, the best way of doing these questions is, if possible, convert all the bases in terms of a same number. Okay, so as you can see that you have 2, you have 8, which can be converted in 2 raised to the power something. You also have 16, which is also a power of 2. So convert all of them and write them as the powers of 2. ठीक है? So 16 को मैं लिख सकता हूं 2 raised to the power 4 and then whole raised to the power 2x minus 1. On the right hand side, 2 raised to the power 1 as it is multiplied by 8 can be written as 2 cube. So 2 raised to the power 3 whole raised to the power x plus 5. Okay, done. Now let's open up the brackets. So on the left hand side, 2 raised to the power. Now these two powers will get multiplied. It will become 8x minus 4. Slowly, carefully. Okay. Equal to 2 raised to the power 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 3x plus 15. Again, I have multiplied these powers. Now on the right hand side, the first property will be used. The bases are same, so powers will get added. So 2 raised to the power 8x minus 4 is equal to 2 raised to the power. Now adding these two powers, it will become 3x plus 16. Okay. Now you can see that on the left hand side and the right hand side, the bases are equal and they are 2. The base is 2 in both on both the sides. So now I can equate the powers, right? Since the bases are 2, powers can be equated. Okay, so I can now write 8x minus 4 is equal to 3x plus 16, getting the value of x. So 5x is equal to 20, x is equal to 4. x का value 4 आ गया. But मुझे क्या find out करना है? I need to find out x plus 1, the value of x plus 1, right? x plus 1 का value चाहिए. So x is equal to 4, so x plus 1 will be equal to 5. And that will be your answer. ठीक है? So option C is the correct answer. Let's move ahead and look at the next question. Now again, comparison. Which one of these two is greater? So easy sa question hai. 2 raised to the power 666, 3 raised to the power 444. Again, if you remember one of the ways, powers में से जो भी सबसे बड़ा नंबर है उसको कॉमन निकाल दो. Okay, so 666444. What is the highest common factor? So highest common factor of these two is 222. So 222 हम easily common ले सकते हैं. So first number 2 raised to the power 666 can be written as 3 times 222. So 3 multiplied by 222. This further will become 8 raised to the power 222. The second number 3 raised to the power 444 can be written as 3 raised to the power 2 multiplied by 222. So which will become 3 square, that is 9 raised to the power 222. So we have done this type of question already. So one number is 8 raised to the power 222, another is 9 raised to the power 222. So which one of these two is larger? Definitely 9 raised to the power 222. That means the second number. Okay. All right. Let's move further and look at the next one. Now this is certainly a different type of question. Now root 11 plus root 14 is the first number, and the second number is root 12 plus root 13. Now there is a specific way of dealing with these questions. Now first of all, one particular thing that you can observe about both these numbers. For the first number, the value under the square root sign 11 and 14, if you will add these two numbers separately, 11 or 14 को add करोगे, obviously root 11 and root 14 directly cannot be added, but if you see the sum of 11 and 14, it is equal to 25. Similarly, the sum here is also equal to 25. So whenever you see this kind of peculiar thing happening, then what you need to do is just take the square of these two numbers. Whole square कर दो दोनों numbers को, ठीक है? So root 11 plus root 14 whole square, calculate this thing, and root 12 plus root 13 whole square. इन दोनों को calculate करो, and now after that you will be able to you will be in a position to compare these numbers. So a plus b whole square का formula लगेगा, that is a square. So root 11 का square will be 11, root 14 square will be 14, plus twice of ab, twice of under root 11 into 14, right? Next, 12 plus 13 plus twice of under root 12 into 13, right? Now comparing these two, this part and this part will give you 25 in both cases. Okay, so same hai. 2 is also same in both cases, and under root is also there in both cases. Now, the expression which will have this value which is under the root larger, वो वाला number बड़ा हो जाएगा. ठीक है? So 11 into 14, 11 into 14 का value क्या होता है? What is the value of 11 into 14? Yes. Anyone? 14 into 11, 11 into 14, कुछ भी कर लो. So this value is 154. Okay. And 12 into 13 is 156. So 154, 156, कौन सा बड़ा है? 156 is larger than 154. So the second number will be, this one will be larger than the first number. Okay, so simple. This is a peculiar thing. This is some things that you can observe in relation with these numbers and get the final answers, right? Okay, आगे चलते हैं. Next question. Okay, so you have to find the value of m in the given expression. M का value find out करना है. Now you can find the value of m only you will be able to compare the powers. Okay. एंड पावर कंपैरिजन कैसे होगा? जब बेसेस इक्वल होंगे, राइट? ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड यू हैव 8, ऑन द राइट हैंड साइड you have 4. Now both 8 and 4 can be converted and written as the power of same number. 8 is 2 raised to the power something, 4 is also 2 raised to the power something, right? So let's simplify this jaldi se. So 8 can be written as 2 cube, left hand side, whole raised to the power 2m minus 4. Okay. On the right hand side, I have 2 square. 4 can be written as 2 square and whole raised to the power m plus 6. So left hand side will become 2 raised to the power. Now multiply these two powers. 6m minus 12 equal to 2 raised to the power 2m plus 12. Now you can equate these powers. ठीक है, पावर्स को इक्वेट कर देते हैं. सो इट विल बी 4m is equal to 24. So the value of m is equal to 6. So m is equal to 6, which is option number 4, and that is the correct answer, right? A similar question like this, let's have a look at it. Now in this you have two variables, m and n, and two different bases, 2 and 5. Okay. So first of all, what you have to do, on the लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड वाला पार्ट है उसमें 2 की पावर्स सिंप्लीफाई करनी है सेपरेटली, एंड यू विल हैव टू सिंप्लीफाई द पावर्स ऑफ 5. Okay, so separately 2 raised to the power something, 5 raised to the power something will be the result on the left hand side, and then after that you will start comparing it with the right hand side, right? Okay, so let's start doing it. Left hand side, I'll write it as it is, 2 raised to the power 5 whole raised to the power 5 multiplied by 2 raised to the power minus 5 divided by 10 raised to the power 5. Okay, so first of all powers separate कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? And wherever we can, we'll separate the bases as well. So we can separate the powers as well as the bases on the left hand side. So 2 raised to the power 5 divided by 5 raised to the power 5 multiplied by 2 raised to the power minus 5 divided by, now 10 raised to the power 5. 10, look at the left hand side of your screen. 10 can be written as 2 multiply 5. So 10 raised to the power 5 will be written as 2 multiplied by 5 whole raised to the power 5. Now powers will be separated. So 2 raised to the power 5 multiplied by 5 raised to the power 5, you will get this result, right? So 2 raised to the power 5 multiplied by 5 raised to the power 5. Okay, 5 raised to the power 5. Now, from the numerator and denominator, there will be some powers which will cancel. So, ये जो 2 raised to the power 5 है, denominator and numerator में cancel कर देंगे. Okay, so I will have only 2 raised to the power minus 5 left as the power of 2. Okay, further 5 raised to the power 5 and 5 raised to the power 5. This will become 5 raised to the power 10 in the denominator. ठीक है, 5 raised to the power 10 बन जाएगा denominator में. And it will come in the numerator and will become 5 raised to the power minus 10. Okay, so 2 raised to the power minus 5 and 5 raised to the power minus 10 is the result, which now can be written as the right hand side, 2 raised to the power m multiplied by 5 raised to the power m. Now compare the powers of 2 and 5. So value of m will be equal to minus 5 and value of n will be equal to minus 10. ठीक है? Now they are asking the value of m plus n. So m plus n का value कितना हो जाएगा? Minus 5 minus 10, that is equal to minus 15, which is the fourth option. As you can see, option number 4 will be the correct answer for this question. All right, fine. So friends, that is all about today's basic concepts and this the questions which have helped you in understanding the basics of surds and indices. Okay, so that is all from my side for the day. I hope you would have liked this lecture. In case you have, so please do press the like button. Don't wait, but do press the like button and like all my sessions so that I will be motivated to conduct more and more sessions like this for all of you. At the beginning, I'm conducting some basic lectures, but gradually, like I told you in my previous session, we'll be raising the level of difficulty and we'll be covering different concepts. Okay. Now I understand Surds and Indices, not a very favorite chapter. So that is why I decided to pick that. Okay. Arithmetic हर कोई करवाता है, but I'm starting with some unconventional topics. Okay. So that's all. Some important piece of information for all of you. New batches are available for CAT 2023 comprehensive program. So the complete details about the program are there on the screen. So please do enroll in one of the batches. You can enroll by using the link that is given in the description or calling at the number that is given at the bottom of your screen. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you very much. Also, you can get up to 90% scholarship. So we have once again a scholarship test that will be conducted on 4th of February at 7 p.m. So please do take this scholarship test in order to avail scholarships up till 90% on any of the CAT preparation program. Also, why MBA is a right choice, right career choice. A wonderful session that will help you in basically strategizing a lot of things. This session will be taken by Saral sir today only at 7 p.m. So please be a part of this session by registering using the link that is given in the description of the session. Also, you can get a real feel of MHCT, right? So All India Open Mock for MHCT 2023 will be conducted, will be live between 11th of February and 19th of February. So do take this test, register for this test again by using the link that is given. Okay. So for MHCT, how much algebra topics should I cover? So Vivek, for MHCT, though I will be conducting plenty of lectures, but for the time being, you can focus on linear equations, quadratic equations, right? And some of the concepts related to the algebraic expressions. Don't get into the details of functions, graphs, maxima, minima, like these topics, inequalities वगैरह ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है फिलहाल. So linear equations, quadratic equations, also progressions and series, that is also an important topic as far as MHCT is concerned, right? Okay. Sankirtana, you're asking, sir, same faculty will be teaching in BYJU'S CAT. Yes, yes, Sankirtana. Naveen sir, Saral sir, we are the three faculty members who will be taking care of your logical reasoning and data interpretation, as well as quantitative ability. Then Vikrant sir, Nikita ma'am will be taking care of your verbal ability, right? So the same set of faculty member who you see on the YouTube channel, all of us, all five of us will be teaching you for any of the CAT programs. Okay. Yes, Sankirtana. So, like me, Saral sir, Nikita ma'am, yes, definitely three of us will be the faculty members with the other two names that I have taken. Again, all of us, like, don't include me, I'm not, but all of us are renowned faculty members, experienced faculty members. Okay, and in any batch or in every batch, all of us will be teaching you. All right. Okay. So, friends, thank you very much for being a part of this session. Hope you liked this session and would have already pressed the like button. In case you're not the subscriber, you would have subscribed this channel and pressed the bell icon so that you will receive all the notifications of all our upcoming sessions. Have a wonderful time preparing for your CAT studies. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.